Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Thanks for giving me a couple of minutes. Like I said, Apollo needed some extra time. We're not going to do the expanded forecast yet. He needed some extra time to get out there and just explore. His tummy's been a little bit upset with this present situation that I'm in. As you know, I'm trying to find a new apartment. We'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, welcome everybody. Good to see you. This is a collective reading that is going to help you navigate the next 7 days. You chose a special topic for me today, which is divine timelines and timing, which surprised me because we do have Valentine's Day this week, and I may pull an extra bonus card at the end. I really thought it was going to be love. But it's okay. I will, basically, that's why I like to set this up for a vote, because it gives you guys a chance to say what you want rather than me just sort of saying, hey, I think we should do this. So thanks to everybody who voted. Good to see you. Great to be here. Let's begin. All right. So I would like to begin by just saying how awesome it is to be able to do this every single week. I've been doing it for a few years now, and, all of us show up and we try to be our best possible selves, and this kind of sets us up in that nice trajectory. So thanks for being here. Thanks for creating this great community. I do appreciate it. We're going to start off with some channeled messages. As you know, I combine different divination methods. I begin with things that come through in dreams and meditation. So let's get started with something that came from meditation this morning, and then we'll get into my dreams. I was thinking this morning, especially since I'm going through some environmental changes and shifts, just how important it is to have good energy going into our mind, body, and spirit. Back in the 70s, I think there was a term that was coined, garbage in, garbage out, mostly for computers. It's actually quite useful today for artificial intelligence because it's only as good as where it sources its data. So if it's sourcing data from a lot of places where it's not very reliable, then what you get back isn't going to be reliable. But we can extrapolate this and look at it on a broader scale, which is the people we spend our time with, the things that we watch, television, news, things that we listen to in the music, the books that we read. All of these things constitute sort of like nourishment. And sometimes we're either, kind of doing the fast food equivalent or the real good organic stuff. So this is a week in particular where we want to be like the Queen of Pentacles here and make sure that we're putting the best possible elements into our mind, body, and spirit. So elevate work and living situations, eat well, sleep well, take care of yourself. And this is going to allow you to not only be like the best version of yourself, but also have like a lot of the capability to keep going and going and going, like the little Energizer bunny, right? Which is on this card right there. So we want to have that ability for abundance and persistence, which is why I like this particular card. And this is even more so sometimes than the Empress, it's a very nurturing card, and we can see her really looking at that pentacle thinking, is it worth it? And also not being afraid to ask for something if you're deserving of it. Okay, the next thing was really cool, unique. I've not had this dream before, but this actually happened a day ago, but I saved it for today's reading. So I saw someone kind of like shaking a tree. They pulled their shirt out to kind of capture all of the nuts, and Spirit was like hazelnut, kind of gave that to me intuitively. So I looked it up, and for some of you that are trying to balance out your vitamins, it's very rich in vitamin E, magnesium, copper, manganese, vitamin B6, and zinc. So there you go. The other thing here, though, is it is reminiscent to me of the Tree of Life that we see here on the Ten of Pentacles, because that's actually what that pattern represents. And this is like the fruits of your labor. This is a time where things might actually be culminating in a really exciting way. Whenever I see something like a rock, a diamond, or a seed, it's very much connected to the earth, to pentacles, and you'll see it represented as such in different decks. I also mentioned that this is lower on the glycemic index, so for some of us, it's just a reminder to balance out our diet, eat less sugar. Standard disclaimers apply. I'm not a dietitian, I'm just a tarot reader, but I will look at the symbols to help us see things that might help us out in the week ahead. I really like the idea, though, that this is a time for harvest and bounty, And the last one definitely connects to my sort of energy too, which is sometimes you have to shake the tree to get an answer. You might also need to sort of shake up the status quo. People just want to stay stuck in their patterns, and you're the agitator in the best possible way. And you could say, have you considered this? Or what about this? Or no, I want to try this. So don't be afraid to shake the tree. It looks like it's worth it. The rewards are plentiful. And then finally, this one is really cool. I was shown something that would be like the Book of Days, or perhaps something from your Akashic library. And then I saw someone like interviewing you or you speaking. And it was funny because it was sort of a self-deprecating thing, but very relatable. What I heard the person saying is, well, Spirit knows that I have a mouth, a big mouth, and if this comes through, it's something I'm going to talk about. And I was like in the background applauding. So if you've experienced something really, pivotal, interesting, or relatable, share it, talk. Other people need to hear it. And again, Spirit wouldn't have come to you if you weren't the person to initiate the conversation. I think this is especially important for those of us that are on a path of awakening, empowerment, discovery, because until we normalize some of the experiences that we're going through, other people may be more apt to sort of like stay quiet or stay asleep. So share your experiences. It's graduation time, and that is what the Three of Pentacles can represent. Mastery of a skill, graduating from a lesson, and it's time to try something new too. We could just as easily feature the Fool on this card. So those were pretty powerful messages, I think, that came through. And this is a time for some exciting change. And, I really think that also nicely fits with divine timing and timeline. So that was a close runner-up a few weeks ago. I'm glad it's getting its moment in the spotlight. Before we delve into that, we're going to first take a look at the next 7 days. I know this is why many of you show up, because you want to see, like, come on, Nicholas, what's coming through? So let's do that. Let me zoom in on the top camera, and let's begin. Again, so this will be today through next Sunday. Let me just select a deck that feels right. So, as always, every part of this reading is for the collective. Collective means everyone. We will do a elemental portion here in just 10 minutes or so, and that'll be the only thing that's specific. Synchronistic. We have the Three of Pentacles for today. I don't know why I felt like singing it, but there you go. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday and Sunday. All right. We have everything set up here. Let me just get to the day markers and we'll get started. All right. So today, I love that we got something that was representing what I was talking about, Three of Pentacles. This is a really unique one because I'm not sure if it was on purpose, but the signals are wrong. So it should be like green, yellow, red, I believe, right? So the top two signals are reversed if we look at them as signals. Otherwise, we're just looking at like representations of the chakras. But it almost looks like, a traffic signal. So one thing that I would say here, and I believe it was reversed. I'm going to look at it in the replay. But one of the things that you want to be focusing on, yeah, it's reversed. Okay, so is making sure that you're ready to commit. And if you're not, don't put a maybe where, a no should be. And that's really what this is. It should be yes, maybe, no. So I think some of us could be sending out a mixed signal. Well, we'll wait and see or whatever. Just say, if something's changed or you can't do it, say no. Simply put. This is also, now we'll take it out of the signals because I think that's the only thing that we need to focus on that. It's a tapestry. It's something that's being created thread by thread, moment by moment, stitch by stitch. So for many of you, you're just putting on the final touches for something. This is normally a card of completion. So 8 of Pentacles is learning, mastery, and application. 3 of Pentacles is mastery, graduation, publication, recognition. And so for some of you, you may be wondering, am I ready? Is it done? And this card is saying pretty close. Yeah, you might just want to get like another set of eyes on something if it's paperwork in particular. But by and large, we like what we see here with the Three of Pentacles. It's a great day to read, research, get some work done. I know many of you are watching the Super Bowl today, but I am actually doing some work later today. I'm working on the podcast. So you can do stuff like, if you want to get some work done or some planning done, it's a great day to do it. Let me see if there's anything else here. I was talking about that book of days. This can also be a chance for you to set intentions. And you don't have to spend like hours and hours. You can spend 5 minutes saying, this week, I really want to see this done. I need to contact this person. Making a list of to-do items, super valuable. Looking at your calendar, making sure that you know what's in front of you. It can make Sunday a lot more manageable, and then you can just have some fun. All right, that's everything for today. Let's get started on the week ahead. Monday, pretty good day actually. Queen of Cups. She represents love, happiness, joy, creativity, everything in the flow, especially when she's in the upright. And so because this card is upright, we can see her basically connecting and managing everything nicely. She's above water. Some of you may have spent a lot of time trying to push through or deal with something emotional. This would be the day where everything crests and goes in the positive, and you're starting to feel like your head's above water. Great day for relationships, great day to share an idea, creative idea with someone. They have a much higher chance of sort of connecting with you. And it's just a great day to spend time with others. Can't really go wrong with the Queen of Cups. She's fun to be around, and she has a lot to offer others. So this is so far your most powerful day. And even as I'm looking at all the cards in front of me, I think this might be the highlight of the week. Okay, so good start to the week ahead. Now let's take a look at Tuesday. So one step forward, one step back. Whenever the Knight of Swords is reversed, it's saying, let me just pause for a moment and reconsider. Some of you might be looking at your to-do list that I talked about making today, thinking, does this align, or do I need to change my priorities? You might also be calling someone up and asking a direct question. Any of the court cards within the Suit of Swords, when reversed, are direct. They're not going to dance around, or use kid gloves. They're just going to say, what happened here? Can I count on you for this? Do you want to do it? And so you can also connect with that direct energy and just get things done. You're allowed to change your mind. I always like to remind people of that when we get a Knight card reversed. It's a consideration day. And so you're going to read, you're going to research, you're going to ask questions, and you're allowed to say, I don't want to do this, I want to do this. And then just set it into motion. And that's all you really need to focus on. And slow down. It is the fastest card. You can actually see him sprinting here, okay? Don't rush. When you rush, things happen, and they're not always the best things happening. It's better to have like everything planned out. I don't know where I heard it the other day, but like 5 minutes of planning can save you 15, 20 minutes down the line. So just spend a little bit of time thinking, okay, is everything good? And then it'll just happen quickly on its own. So that's my advice there. Plan, slow down, consider, be present, then move. And if you don't want to go down a path, stop now before you get too many, sort of steps ahead. That's pretty much it. You'll make up for lost time later. When I think back to things when I rushed, like in college one time, I sent a fax to someone and there were typos in it because I was sending it at like 4 a.m. and I was half asleep, and I was like, yeah, that wasn't good. One time when I moved, I broke a foot because I was trying to get an extra load done and I was tired and I tripped on something on the cement. Like a lot of times when it's that last minute push, that's when you should just stop. You've done everything you can, slow down, rest. You're not putting out quality, garbage in, garbage out. If your body is exhausted, you are not going to be showing up the way you need to. Just like if a car is out of alignment, you put in bad gas, the battery's not charged, it's going to just give up at some point. So recharge, that's it. All right, let's focus on Wednesday. Again, with the theme of balance, 6 of Pentacles, reversed, saying, you know what, I'm not sure if I need to do this, but I don't know I want to do that. It's basically choices. In the traditional card, we see a person holding scales and we see a bunch of outstretched hands, usually 2, but sometimes more. And they have to weigh out what's like the coins and the scale. They're like, what do I want to do? And then they decide how much to give. And so that's you. You can't make everybody happy. You really never can, very rarely can. Maybe once in a blue moon, but usually and consistently, you're going to have to do things that will either cause questions or disruption. Remember, I said you might have to shake the tree. This is the day to shake the tree. You're going to have to find a better way, and not everyone's going to necessarily be on board, but if it creates balance for you, it's precisely what you should be focusing on. On the bright side, the Six of Pentacles is just enough, a little bit more than enough. It's the base card that I'm looking for when it comes to happiness, stability, and we wouldn't call it like tons of abundance, but there is a little extra. 5, 4, and 2 of Pentacles have a lot less. They show areas where you're like not breaking even, or you're holding on to something, or you're trying to find balance. You finally achieved it in the 6. So Wednesday, you'll get it together, but you might have to say no to somebody. And that no is a powerful and an important thing to create grounding in your life. Okay? Let's move on to Thursday. There's one last thing before we get to this. Yeah, I had a drama teacher once that walked me through the Six of Pentacles, not like literally, but what she said, I had to make a choice between like the school play and yearbook, like choices. And she said, you can't make everybody happy. If you do, you'll be unhappy. People won't respect you. I was like, what? Yeah, she said, because you don't have a point of view. You're just trying to placate everyone and make it all okay. And she said, ultimately, not only, so you won't be happy, people won't respect you, and you're not going to be able to accomplish what you set out to do. And I don't think she expected me to make the decision I did. I was like, okay, I'll do yearbook instead of drama, but I appreciate the honesty. And she was right, and I was happy, and she was happy. She found a better person for the play. I enjoyed yearbook. We were in a good space. It was great advice, and I never forgot it. You got to make difficult decisions. Otherwise, everything is going to kind of like be watered down, and you don't want to do that. All right, now on to Thursday. Temperance reversed. Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. We almost have like a little bit of Two of Pentacles energy in this one too, because it looks like that. Temperance always has a balancing aspect to it. Usually the angel has 2 cups. Relationship balance is coming forth here. So we have the 11th today, 12th, 13th, 14th. So right after Valentine's Day, this is happening. But some of you might be just trying to sort things out, feel out how you, like where you sit on something, how you feel about something. And so take your time. Don't move forward until you're sure. That's the main thing I would say with temperance. Patience is your best friend. I typically connect this card to, I would say mid-March and April. So there might be something that you're working on because it's a spring, Northern Hemisphere spring, sort of energy. So it feels like you're like 1 to 2 months away from something being fully cooked or done and ready. So don't push it. If you're not there now, I feel like there'll actually be some windows of opportunity over the next couple of weeks or months here. Otherwise, it's just saying don't do anything in the moment. So if especially if you're emotionally charged. So if you're talking to someone on the phone and they're making you like, you can feel the energy kind of, getting agitated, just take a deep breath and say, let me get back to you. Or let's talk a little bit later, or something came up. You'll figure it out, but like, don't speak when you're not energetically balanced, because what comes out, we're talking about the garbage in, garbage out, it's just going to be difficult for them to digest, and you'll look at it later thinking I could have articulated it differently. So avoid arguments. This is a day to really spend time introspectively looking at what's going on. It's a good day for meditation, a better day to work on your own for sure. If you need help, have a third party come in. Temperance can be a moderator or a mediator, etc. Okay, let's take a look at the end of the week. As we're looking at Friday, looks like it's a pretty darn good day. I will take a 9 of Cups on a Friday, especially as illustrated here. It just is like, I did it, I got through it. There's some celebratory energy. Some of you might have a social engagement, a party, or you're just entering into that energy of gratitude and really opening up the heart. I put that as one of the options today, and I wasn't surprised no one wanted it, because gratitude isn't something that we talk about all the time, but it is something that can connect us to higher realms, to more abundance, and it's kind of like a superpower energy when you learn how to use it. So I'll just reword that topic in the future, because it is something that's really, really powerful. The only thing you want to avoid on Friday is extremes. So if you do have a party or something, like, don't overdo it. If things are going really well, or if you feel like they're really frustrating, that can be, you know, like woohoo, or it can also be like a scream. Nine of Cups can go in both directions. So let's just remember the day before we have Temperance. So let's stay cool, calm, collected, have a moment of joy, but not like go overboard. That's pretty much everything for that. Let's look at next Saturday and see what's coming through. You have gotten very close to the completion of something. 9 of Wands. You're wiser for the experience. You can tell here, she's like, I'm no one's fool. And also, she's not going to give up. So 10 of Wands is a final card in this suit. It shows graduation, completion, and getting closer to being able to reap the rewards. This comes through after you've proven sometimes to yourself and to others that, you know, you're not going to take no for an answer. You're a force to be reckoned with, that, you know, you're going to get things done. So I really like this. Anything you set your mind to, you can do. If someone pushes you, push back. And the only thing you want to do is take care of it's usually, I would say, 7th and 6th chakras that kind of sometimes take a hit here. So you may have a difficult time concentrating. There could be a headache. Your thoughts could be a little bit agitated. So take a break. I think that's the main thing. We have 2 very similar cards here, the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Wands. They can go to extremes. This one pushes sometimes yourself too much, but sometimes others. So don't be pushy with others. Don't be pushy with yourself. Everything in moderation, once again. And now moving on to next Sunday, we have the 8 of Cups. A cycle is either coming back around or is ending. You might also be deciding to put something new into motion. Any 3 of those scenarios is favorable. Some of you are way overdue for a holiday, vacation, or break, and this card is saying just step away from things for a second, get some perspective. You can always come back later. You will be cool, calm, collected, clear, and grateful that you gave yourself a break. So if it's been a minute since you've taken some time off, then take a minute, please, okay? Highlights for the week, like I said, I think today's actually one. Monday's probably the strongest highlight of all. And then I quite like next weekend's energy. Actually, just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the whole kind of extended weekend looks good. Something to celebrate, something to finish, and a chance to take a much-deserved break. And again, it feels like tomorrow is going to be amazing for those that are watching me in real time. Okay? So there you go. We're going to now move on to the elemental forecast. And this is the only portion, as I said today, that's going to be specific to the signs. So let me pick a deck for that. And we'll see what is coming through here. Thank you for those that are gifting. Colette, I think I saw some earlier. We'll make sure to say thanks later. Dakota's here today, so I know he's also saying thanks to everybody. All right, so let's get started and look at fire, earth, air, and water. Okay, folks, let's begin with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the Page of Wands. So this is a really good week, as I said earlier, to share ideas with others. Wands can be like the light bulb suit, where you're getting these sort of intuitive flashes, inspiration, intuition coming through. And all you have to do is kind of take that to the next level. We can see this as someone putting a stake in the ground, having a stake in the success of something. Literally, this wand can be like that. It's also saying, I have an idea and I want to fight for it, because a wand can be something that is used to defend. So this is a week where you want to feel really comfortable and confident with expressing thoughts, ideas, and questions. And expressing being the key thing, because it's an enthusiastic, demonstrative suit, not so much about talking. You could be showing, you could be pushing it along a little bit. There's a lot of different ways things can move with wands, and it's not always through verbal communication or written communication. This is also a developmental card. So think of the page as being sort of like absorbent, sponge. It can drink in a lot of knowledge. So if you attend a symposium, read a book, listen to a podcast, the page can do just as much listening as it can do communicating, because pages work both ways. And it's also a very busy working sort of energy. Pages used to run errands. So you may just be finding yourself doing a bunch of things to bring something together. Super great week for being productive, developing ideas, defending ideas, learning or hearing about something new, and possibly at some point deciding to take it to the next level, maybe to a contract. That would normally be like, I would say like the Page of Swords or the Ace of Swords, but we're getting the sort of everything together this week. So very good week for thinking, dreaming, developing. Couldn't ask for something better for fire, and you're showing up as fire, which is always really good. Okay, so let's move from fire to earth. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, gotta let go. So we have the Four of Pentacles in the upright position. Some of you are presented with something that you know from the outset, it's not exactly what you wanted, falling short of expectations, or it's not providing enough of a return for the time, the energy, and the consideration you're providing. In this case, you're going to speak up and say, close, but this is what's necessary. So you don't have to say a full-on no. You can say, I think we both are in agreement that this is a good idea, but I need this in order to move in the next direction. Can I count on you? It's a lot easier than saying this is too cheap or you're not giving me enough support. You're going to say, I could use a little bit of help here and here. Otherwise, we're not going to make the deadline, for those of you working. In a relationship, this is much different. We do have Valentine's Day this week. So with this particular card, you're possibly meeting someone who can't give you what you're looking for, or you're not ready to give what you need. This can be true of anything that you're looking at. So work, love, or any sort of extracurricular. There's something where you need a little bit more give. Okay. And finally, this is just generally speaking a card that has a little bit of an undertone of fear to it, which is I have to hold on to this because what if this is as good as it gets? What if this is good enough? Like Sarah McLachlan says, there's so much more than good enough. And I honestly believe that when something does not meet your expectations or really legitimately is a lowball offer for work, or someone just doesn't give ever back, you've got to let that go so that you can make room for something higher. It's just creating and holding space for your true worth. Okay? And that is it for that. So you're moving towards more abundance, but in order to do that, there's a release or a conversation that has to happen. Moving on to my air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. It's a good week for you. Good. Last week was a little bit more challenging. This week is a little bit of a reward. The Sun in reverse. So the Sun card is birthing, and it's charisma, and it's also playful, joyful, even childlike wonderment. So when the card is reversed, it's saying, take a moment and make sure you're getting that in your life. It's an investing card when reversed. It's also saying don't take yourself too seriously. Have some more fun. Try to, and don't underestimate the ability for a smile or enthusiasm to really connect you to an opportunity. So don't play it too cool. If you're really excited, let someone know that this is something that you really want to see. So all of those things are coming through as I look at this card. It does have a horse in it. We don't always look at that, but it's one of the movement cards, just like the Chariot, just like the Death card. And I'm trying to think of the other major arcana ones that have them. But this is one of the ones in the major arcana that says, are you ready to move? This horse makes me laugh. Kind of looking backwards saying, are we doing this or are we not doing this? So are you ready to let it go? And that's the last thing. So because this is a baby card and it can represent giving birth, releasing, or letting go, not too dissimilar from what we were just talking about. It's time to let something go. This is just a lot more, you're like one step closer, it feels like. For some of you, you may also be afraid of starting fresh since this is a babe. So you're thinking, I don't want to have to do this. You're not going to be entering at the base level here. It's just saying for a moment, you might be in an uncharted territory that can also be really exciting and really engaging. Okay? That's everything for that. Now, last but not least, let's look at water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. What a productive week you're going to have. 8 of Pentacles. Look at all those coins going everywhere. And look at how busy this guy is. If you want to get work done, you're possibly the only kind of like drawback is you could get lost in the sort of like minutia of things. So details have a time and place. Come up for air this week. Share your progress with others so that before you get to the 10 of Pentacles and realize, uh-oh, there was something I needed to fix there, you can solicit feedback. And but otherwise, I can't really find much wrong with the 8 of Pentacles. If you want to take a class, learn something new, research or read, this, like I said, this is very much an absorbent card, just like the Page of Wands is. It's a learning personified here. And also you might be putting into motion something that has the potential, just like 3 of Pentacles, for publication, broader release, and in dreams, someone asking you questions in a good way. Like, it seemed to me like a celebratory thing where someone wanted to know, how did you do it? So remember to document your process. It might come in handy one day, okay? Behind the scenes sort of stuff, especially for those of you that are creators or producers out there. People like to see that kind of stuff too, okay? Pretty good week overall. I mean, even the difficult, quote unquote difficult cards, it's just about letting go. But everything else is really, really nice this week. So yay for that. All right. So if you just joined, perfect timing. We're going to get into the special topic here. And at the very end, I'll probably pull an extra card for love just because it's Valentine's Day. And we should at least see what's going on with relationships. While I'm getting organized here, as I announced, I will be launching a podcast next month. It's actually with my editor right now. I'm kind of prepping things up so I can actually say, I'm not sure when next month, but keep an eye on the community tab. I will send out a newsletter. It's still around. I've just been balancing a lot of things. So for those of you subscribed, you'll be some of the first to know. Members, you'll know as well. So yay for that. More to come. I'll announce who's on the podcast, etc. And it's the first of hopefully many, but I have to see how interested you guys are. So when it does launch, do me a favor and subscribe and let me know what you like. All right. Let's get started. This is the special topic. The special topic today is divine timing and timelines. So everybody, close your eyes for a moment. Let go of any sort of energy you've been holding on to, any worries, any doubts, any fears. Just open your heart, open your mind, and let's see what we need to see regarding divine timing and timelines. And thank you to everyone that's present, as well as angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and beings that are helping bring forth messages that we need to see. All right. Although I'm looking at this for a week, it can go way beyond that because these are bigger topics. So sometimes we can look at this as a month, 2 or 3, like a quarter of the year sometimes. But it's starting from today. There we have the tree, and we have spring, which I was talking about with temperance just a little bit ago. So again, because I'm in the northern hemisphere, I'll just translate that to March or April for those that are watching me in New Zealand, Australia, and different parts of the southern hemisphere, because I know I've got a lot of viewers there, and it's good to have all of you, by the way. All right, let's get started, folks. We're going to begin with the Catalyst card first. And as you know, the Catalyst helps us basically connect to what's important. So we have a tree on its side, which for me is just like shaking the tree. It's connected with spring and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 weeks for some of you too. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about this. So I mentioned, and we'll pull this up in case some of you just joined late or might be skipping around in the reading a little bit. This is what came through in dreams. So I saw someone shaking or connecting with the hazelnut tree, pulling out their shirt and like just letting the nuts collect there. It felt like it was a couple of bunches of it. And I said at the bottom, you might need to shake the tree for answers or movement. Be the agent of change. Don't be afraid to agitate the status quo. So, lo and behold, we got the tree of life. We also got the number 5 on it because I counted the number of fruits or nuts in the tree. So 5 weeks, 5 options, 5 days. Pretty close because these readings are meant to be more immediate. So by the end of the week, some clarity on some of this. And for many of you, it's just saying, don't be afraid. We've been taught as children sometimes, like, only speak when spoken to, don't cause a problem, make sure that you blend in, worry about the other person. There comes points, especially when there's something on the line, when there's something that you really want to fight for, that you have to sometimes bring up what's uncomfortable so that you can avoid wasting time or spinning your wheels, okay? And so it's a pretty clear connection to that. Shake the tree, folks. This is also shaking the tree of knowledge for more information. So there may not be enough. Maybe someone that you're working with isn't doing proper research and you're like, I gotta follow up on this. I think that there's more to the story. Do your homework. All right, let me take a drink, then we're gonna look at all the cards, but you can just kind of look at them for a second while I do that. I always like to just get a vibe for the general spread. So these are 2 of the more important placements here. So this is going to be, the word that comes to me is self-control. Interesting, because it is a card of control, so self-control. And then the 9 of Pentacles is showing the bountiful energy that is really providing itself here in this week ahead. So if there was less than or not enough of, you're going to have way more. This is a very shuffled deck. I've been using it for a long time, and it's very interesting that we have 2, 3, and 4 of Wands here. Lots of movement, lots of things coming to fruition here as well. So let's take it a card at a time. We're going to start with your center card, which is basically saying it's a recalibration moment. I had to cover this in the weekly forecast. I might have even had this card. It feels like I've just looked at this in the past couple of days. So anyway, lo and behold, this is a chance for you to say, yeah, something didn't work out the way I wanted. Here's your spilled milk or your spilled wine or water or whatever. But when we take it out, it's the 2 of Cups. So there could be love, friendship, partnership, or opportunity, or any number of things this week. We see a bridge over troubled water in the background saying, you're ready to let it go. Something didn't serve you. And maybe the disappointment, the rejection, the disruption, as difficult as it is, it's like the biggest blessing the universe could give you, right? And now when you're ready to shift your attention to a different direction, crossing the card is love and friendship. And then we have 2 encouragements to look in different directions, but let's take it a card at a time. So because this is crossing it, we can just assume it's in the highest energy, upright, and it's exactly what you see in the card. Someone has your back. Someone is an advocate. There's a chance to meet, connect, or even elevate an existing relationship to the status of the 4 of Wands. It doesn't have to be love and marriage, but it can be. It can be best friends. It can also be like the best kind of business partnership you would want. It's someone you trust. It's a foundation that is firm. It's what many of you have been waiting for. It's a great card to come during the week of Valentine's. Even though, the Aphrodite topic didn't come through, we still get some remnants and vestiges of that energy here. So definitely put some focus this week into building the kind of relationships that you want to see. And really remember, think back to situations, who has your back and who had your back when things were their worst. Those are the people that are always going to be around, okay? But I see good development with relationships this week. Deep past, karmic lessons. We have 3 of Wands, and it's saying always see the silver lining. The 3 of Wands in reverse is saying things are happening now, but you might not be looking where you need to be looking, or you may have a difficult time believing it's happening. So let's just look at her in the upright position. The ships are coming in. I do like that she's a lot closer in this illustration than the traditional one, where he's up on a cliff, the ships are in the distance, and he's just kind of like passively waiting. I love the card, but I'm always like, why not just go to the pier and like welcome them in? It's like if a friend or family member's at the airport and you're waiting 5 miles away at, a Starbucks, you want to go and meet them at the gate. Come on. So this is a chance to kind of meet something a little bit closer. Also, the 3 of Wands only works if she's looking in the direction of the ships. If she's looking at the past or if she's distracted by something in the periphery, she misses what's in front of her. So it's basically saying, keep your eyes and ears peeled. Not only can it happen, but it's happening. So something that you wanted to materialize, it's happening, but the way, shape, form, or timing, because we're looking at timelines, it was unexpected. You thought to yourself, but I thought I needed this, this, and this in place. And the universe is like, deal with it. That's what I had to do a couple weeks ago. I didn't want to record a podcast when I'm trying to move, but I did that. So first episode in the throes of all these changes, didn't have as much time to research and everything. And I'm like, well, we'll just have to go forward because it's happening. Sometimes you have to deal with inconvenience because opportunity's there. And the universe is like it or not, better do this. So some of you may have a similar situation where one thing's falling apart, but something else is coming together. One door is opening, another door might be closing, and you're just going to find yourself between the two. You can juggle it. You'll be all right. I figured it out. You can figure it out. So that's my advice here. Keep an open and open mind just in general, and deal with the inconvenience, because it's going to help you when you get past whatever the other situation is. Because the thing that you think is more important isn't. The universe is saying it's now. So the first message is it's happening. The second one is not only that, but there's more to come. So this is the beginning of something new. There's new friendship. There's new opportunity. Yeah, something didn't work out, but something is. And it's all messy and happening at once. The universe has a sense of humor sometimes. Two of Wands in reverse. Are you tracking to your goals and your visions? We have in this one a very unusual illustration. Instead of the globe, she has a mobile device. So it's also saying, did you miss an email? Did you miss a call? Are you also forgetting maybe to call someone back? It's asking you to slow down for a second and trace your thoughts and your tracks for a second. Because once you do that, there could be another Three of Wands. Someone is waiting for a response is kind of what I get with this one. Now, the other thing is, don't let someone convince you to go in a direction that you don't want to go. It doesn't matter how much they try to sweeten it, the offer. If it's not what you want, then, stand firm to your beliefs and your understandings. The other thing with the Two of Wands here is, do you feel out of place? That's what I'm getting with this, is like, it's almost as if you're trying to live in someone else's world or someone else's vision, because this is all about vision. So this is about getting back to yourself. It's back to you. Get back to who you are and what you want, and also what you were trying to do. And then you'll quickly materialize another Three of Wands. Some of you might also be at a point, this is especially for business owners, where you may need help. So this can be hiring an assistant or contractor for a certain project so that you can focus on big picture. These are big picture cards. And this allows you to get back to the big picture stuff rather than focusing on everyday ups and downs. Okay? The moon in the crowning position. We have, new moon this week? So the moon here is just also about connecting with hopes and fears and setting into motion something new, cycles. So, when we were looking at the previous, Sunday, next Sunday, I think was the Eight of Cups. I said you needed to take a much deserved break. This card is connecting you with that. It's that message too, because this is also cycles. The moon goes through the same cycles, every 28 days or so. In the water of the moon card is a fear or anxiety. So one thing that you can do when this card presents itself is to face the fear, to face the anxiety, to set into place some sort of a plan, contingency plan or insurance plan or whatever, so that you've got yourself covered, you have the safety net in place, and you can move forward. This can be competition. Going back to time, you don't have time for unnecessary comparisons and competition. There is a path in front of you. It's illuminated by the moon. You want to get back to that. So this is fear. This is competition. This is also the difference between what you've been trained to do and what your instincts tell you. Follow your instincts and move forward. And that's a quick summary of the moon card and what it can mean in this week ahead. All right. This is interesting as a sort of symbol of you, because it's saying for many of you, it may be a difficult point right now for you to concentrate or listen. This is a communication card. When we're looking at another person, it's not optimal communication. The best and most elevated version of the Five of Swords that I can give is someone's not ready to hear what they need to hear. But more nefariously, when we're looking at other people in your life, it can be sometimes a person that enjoys getting a rise out of others. As we can see here, it's a joke or a comment at their expense, or there's a lack of compassion there. So if we're looking at this and how it could affect you, you could be dealing with this in your life. Someone who doesn't listen, doesn't support, makes a joke, and it's, you know, it hurts you because it's at your expense, or makes a comment without considering how you might feel. Don't give this person power. That's the main message I would say here. Sometimes we are tempted to take a quick shot. Don't. It's pretty simple here. Just don't say it, elevate, move in a different direction, just walk away. It's not worth it. And that's it. You don't have time for this. There's better things to use your time and energy on. And that's all I have to say with that. In the environment, we have the Four of Cups. Both the 4 and the 5, very similar energies. This one, they're focusing on the negative. By the way, there's 3 cups in both cards that are sort of distracting people. 3 of Cups can be friends, family, community around you. There could be gossip. There could be other people's opinions that are being thrust in your direction. You just got to push that away. But in the 5 of Cups, you're missing an opportunity like love or partnership, which we have love and partnership here. And in this one, it could just, I mean, the Ace of Cups can be love as well. It can also be a new idea or missing the blessing here. So if we were to look at this in the upright position, I love her jumper. It says over it. She's looking at what's in front of her, and there's something about it that's not good enough. And so sometimes we get bored with a situation, or we compare ourselves to others. And meanwhile, there's something floating here, and the universe is saying, that's not all there is. There's more. There's something more in the current situation, but you're blocked to it. So make sure that you're connecting with gratitude and saying, I'm really happy for this experience, and I'm open to receive even more than I am. I'm really trying to understand what this is all about. Help me see it. But we don't want to close off and get into that energy of being over it or disgruntled. Breathe and think, what am I missing? What else is here? What else can I see? Because I'm still here for a reason. Once you learn that, then you can graduate on to the next card. Okay? And in this one, what you also might be missing is just having fun. The 3 of Cups, by the way, is a card of celebration and just being with people that you love without taking it too seriously. It's not a super committed card. So one thing that you can do here is just make more time for friends in your life, and not put so much pressure on certain people around you as well. This is more about being introspective and depending on yourself on some levels. Different version or different interpretation, but that's what I'm getting as I look at that. Okay, so now we have what it's all about this month. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Things are going to move pretty quickly once you've done some of the work that we talked about here. Facing the fears, getting on path, not focusing so much about what others think, looking all around you, because I see multiple blessings here. So once you do that, then it's like, oh, I've got this. I'm worth this. This Knight of Pentacles feels very much in the flow of their value, their worth, and where they're headed. It's not reversed, it's upright. And now they're looking at everything through the lens of opportunity. Not as an opportunist, but like, wow, I'm really starting to feel in the flow. And this is a great opportunity. I'm glad to have it. They're also discerning. Look at how they're holding up that pentacle. And it's through that, is this taking me further down this path? So they're grounded, they're clear, and they're also willing to go for something that they believe in. This month is setting you up, and this week is setting you up to kind of be in that Knight of Pentacles energy, moving towards abundance. And then we have not the 10, but the 9 of Pentacles, and I'll take it. Slow and steady wins the race. So I'll find the traditional card while we're talking, but this is basically finally reaping the rewards. So we have fruits and vegetables in this. Sometimes it's wine. No matter how you slice it, though, it's good stuff. And it's basically saying the way to being successful is just taking your time, being present, and really putting in the work. Here's the traditional one, because I love that little snail in the corner. And that is basically slow and steady. But look at how much this snail gets to snack on. There's a lot of abundance there. And also this card, we have someone that's in this like lavish robe. What is it? She has some sort of bird there that's expensive. Everything's luxury and expensive in this card. In this one, it's a little bit more down to earth, but there's more than enough. And that's the key message here. Time takes a while, but you're going to get a lot because of that. So all the little adjustments and maneuvers and shifting, it brings you to that more than enough. One message with this card, it's typically very, very sort of centered in self, not necessarily good with teamwork. The next message, though, is one of expansion. So you go from this fiercely independent card to friends, family, opportunity, abundance. So open yourself up to start what we saw back at the center, this partnership, and that's going to bring you to the next level and get you there a little bit faster. Okay, now we're going to expand this forecast and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And we're going to begin with health and well-being. And what do we have here? The mentor. Remember, I talked about mentorship, I think, back in the channeled messages. Let me look real quick here. I think I did. If not, yes, here it is. With the Three of Pentacles that I was featuring a little bit earlier. Here we go. Let me just grab this. So this card, it's a time to teach, mentor, exchange knowledge, and release any karmic patterns. So we talked a little bit about that at the very beginning, and now it's coming back here for health. So for some of you, we're looking more at like maybe spiritual and intellectual expansion and health and well-being, but there may be someone who helps you see the bigger picture. If you've dealt with a lot of success or a lot of loss or a lot of challenges, someone who's been through similar experiences can help mentor you through that, so that you can land on your feet, embrace all of this, and move to the next level. It can also represent, of course, working with a counselor or therapist as well. So if that's something that resonates with you, go for it. You may also find yourself in an interesting situation where you haven't mentored before, but people are saying, hey, I really value your experience and your wisdom. Would you mind giving me some advice? So all of those things are factoring in. Let me take another drink and then we'll talk about this through the lens of health. I need some water though. All right. As we're looking at general cards around health, there's a lot of emotional cards that came through. The Five of Cups and the Four of Cups have to do with coping mechanisms. This is often a card that represents disappointment or loss, and then recalibrating it to see what remains. So definitely coping comes through here. This can be frustration, fatigue, or simply feeling out of sorts. So all of these would benefit from a traditional counselor of some sort, whether it's a career counselor or, emotional. Definitely we get that energy here. The Moon card can also be fear and anxiety, and each of us kind of deal with that differently. One of the things that I'm seeing here, and we didn't talk about this, and I will, actually, I think I missed this completely. We'll talk about the Empress in a few moments here, but when it just comes to what's going on here in the spread here, this can be a parent or an authority figure that could be creating a little bit of tension or doubt, and this is really about you saying, I know who I am, and I believe in myself, and I think that's an important thing to think about here. I'll just focus on her through the lens of all of this, but it is, I mentioned earlier, like self-control and self-management, and I think that's the theme that's coming through in health in particular. Self-control, knowing how much and how far to take certain things. And then also knowing you embody this energy. We all have Empress and Emperor energy within. And so if you're not getting the support that you need from friends, family, or society, then you just become this energy for yourself. You could also be finding someone who fills that role a little bit. And that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is decently good. This can also have to do with menstrual cycles. So if anything is off a little bit in that respect, it really does come through with external stressors. There could be pregnancy as well that could be involved for those that are trying or not trying. I'm getting that message here with the Moon and Empress. Also, take it easy. If you just recently got pregnant, you want to really take it slow, because these two cards together just show higher sensitivity, and you're going to need to take some time off for sure. And it may even just be a pregnancy in general, where you would want to make sure that, particularly towards the end of it, that you're not working so hard that you can work from home or take time off if you are working. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. The last thing here is not to be too hard on yourself. This can be the tape that runs in our head saying you're not good enough, it's not going to happen. And it's the inner saboteur, which not all of us have, but most of us have experienced from time to time. And that's everything for health. Again, it feels like wisdom is power, so the more you know, the more you can face overall. All right, let's move on to the next category, which is wealth, resources, life purpose, and career. Hathor light codes here. Let's bring it up a little closer so I don't have to read it. Light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. All right, so I mentioned taking a situation, working and living environments, and elevating it. You may be the initiator of that change. Light codes, you might be saying, I need to shine a light on this situation. Full system upgrade, change of job, change of career, change of relationship with money. Power recall, that's what the Empress is. I'm going to focus on her in every part of this now. She's saying, it's my turn, or, I'm tired of giving all of this time, energy, money away. I'm really going to focus on personal development. So that definitely resonates. Let's look at this through the lens of those that are working first, and then we'll navigate through. If you're working right now, well, I actually love the two outcome cards. Opportunities knocking, and I do see an upgrade in the long run when it comes to resources that are presenting themselves. But some of you are at a point where maybe you ended up just at a fork in the road where you're like, I don't know if this is what I want to do forever. And that's okay. Because we weren't, like when we're kids, we have a very different view of the world and we lack a lot of experience. As you add decade after decade after decade onto the experience, it's sort of like, well, I thought that this would be a really appealing path, but now I realize this is more important, or that is a little bit more important. Good for you. You're growing. Change is okay. You can pivot. I've made multiple changes in my career path over the years. So keep on changing and embrace it. If you stay stuck, it actually says more about, a fear of movement. So face the fear, and we see a path, and do the path that's more for you. That's the most important thing here. What I love about this moment in time, people are paying attention. I saw like an interview or a symposium or someone asking you, how did you do it? They're looking at you and they want to repeat it. And we have 3 cards that are really good. You can't find really much at all wrong with 2, 3, and 4 of Wands. They're favorable. Most of Wands is pretty good, especially towards the beginning of it. So this is vision, this is manifestation, and this is partnership. All of that stuff is presenting itself. Don't get in your own way through fear. Be willing to share the spotlight. Empress Reverse has a hard time doing that. The people that you partner with, make sure that they're willing to share the spotlight as well. It takes 2 to tango. It takes a team to make everything work. Recognize the team. If you're part of a group that doesn't recognize the team, that's more of an issue. Keep open to the silver lining. Both the 4 and the 5 of Cups are about that. And honestly, if you do that, I feel like you're fine. It's basically me just helping you get out of your way, because we have Knight of Pentacles and 9 of Pentacles. And we have cards here that can keep rinsing and repeating. 2, 3, and 4 can just keep happening so that they're feeding the sort of machine that is the Knight and the 9 of Pentacles. It's a good month, folks. A little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety, maybe some miscommunication, but nothing that's going to stop the overall progress. Can't always say that, but I can see it now. Morale may not be what you want. That's something you'll have to deal with. This month you shake the tree, you bring things to attention. Focusing on those that are seeking work. Yeah, you can find it. Absolutely. With 3, 4, and 2 of Wands here. Networking. Also looking at different avenues. It is about repurposing, repackaging, reimagining your skills. So, and also understanding sometimes it takes a while. So, fun fact. My undergraduate was actually journalism. Then I went to film school for graduate, but like finally I'm using some of the undergraduate for the podcast. I kind of consider what I do every day, having a conversation, asking questions to the cards, to spirits, and to you. So I am interviewing, but in a different way. But you never know how your skills are going to come through. Why not just try different things? You have what it takes to put yourself in a different industry if you want to. But you have to kind of let go. The Empress is very controlling, so you have to let go a little bit. And again, get out of your own way. And don't be so hard on yourself if something doesn't go the way that you want it to. I do see you landing an opportunity here. It may not be immediately. 5 days, 5 weeks, sooner than later. But also just make sure that you're looking at it through the lens of this feels good to me. Sometimes we have to take something in the short term, but in the long term goal, I really want to make sure that it feels good to you. And I love that I'm seeing some comments in the chat where people found themselves on different career paths. It happens all the time. It's normal. Again, as we grow up, we just start to get more comfortable with ourselves. We start to explore different paths. I certainly didn't think I'd be reading cards on the internet for a living, and I'm super happy to be doing that, but it wasn't even an option when I went to school. YouTube didn't exist, and the internet was young. So it's changed, and options open, and you have to keep allowing yourself to kind of try different things and go where the energy is. That's the biggest advice for everyone. If the energy is flowing there and it feels good, then you're right where you need to be. Even if mom and dad or friends don't get it, they eventually will or won't, but that's not going to stop you, okay? Self-employment definitely coming through strong for both those that are already employed and those that might be seeking employment. So some of you are entertaining that path. Just make sure you've got what you need. It feels like you can do it. So if that's what you want to do, go for it. For those that are happily retired or not focusing on work, I'll look at students in a moment, but let's just say you're retired. This is your moment. I like to remind people of that, but Empress in reverse is definitely saying it's me. It's all about me. She's sitting happily on that throne with her own box of chocolates, saying, I'm celebrating who I am, where I'm at, with or without anybody. Like, this is a moment where I can just relax. Take stock of things. Take care of yourself. Get a massage. Do something fun. Where is the energy of this queen taking us? Well, the Empress is also saying, like, I want to get out and see the world a bit. The Knight of Pentacles is an exploration card. She could also be sharing her experiences with others. We talked about mentorship, but it's also coming through here. She might also want to change the world for the better. Light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. And she might also just be saying, I got to clean up shop a little bit and, make some amends, cut some ties, and get into that sort of energy of balance, because we really do want to see her in the upright position rather than reversed. But this is a good time to do what you want to do, and it's going to be a little different for everyone. Others aren't going to get it. We do have some travel energy here, but it can be either traveling remotely, because we see with the computer here, or it can actually be physical travel. Just plan it out. Plan a trip. You don't have to do it right now. And other than that, just a lot of personal growth and development, and looks like you're going to pull some more resources in. Students, it's a great time to network. It's a great time to really ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and making sure that you're doing everything you can to align yourself to long-term sort of goals and visions. So one thing that I did as a student that helped a lot, every summer I took an internship, whether it was for credit or just for experience. Like one year I worked in it was actually like scientific notations. This was like the most boring job, but it was super important because I learned Photoshop. So all I did for a summer was sit there and scan scientific photos and learn how to get them crisp and then deliver them to the printer in a way that I was like, I don't want to do this for a living, but I learned very quickly how to use like Photoshop and Illustrator and how to deal with file types. I did another summer where I was working at a TV station and I was writing scripts. I like this a lot more. I was working with producers, and it was kind of wetting my whistle for the journalistic stuff. I was like, this is a lot more interesting. I did one where I was working overseas And it was a lot of secretarial stuff, even though it was for a good company, another TV company. And they treated me like trash. And I thought, it's not all about the brand. It's about how they take care of you. And is this actually a culture that I want to be a part of? Even though they had a really good brand, they had zero integrity. And I was like, that's not what I want. And also, I don't think I want to do this particular thing right now. I want to try something else. Each one taught me what I wanted and didn't want with a very minimal investment and very little loss. So as a student, take as many internships and talk to as many industry professionals as you can so that you can course correct quickly. It's a lot easier towards the beginning of your career than it is at the end. Okay? Let's see. I think that's everything. So it looks pretty good. All right, let's focus now on love. Very good for the week of Valentine's Day. And your message around love is where you are is where it's at. So if you're in a relationship, sit with it for a second. If you're single, you're exactly where you need to be. If you're focusing on work, you're exactly where you need to be. Stay still until you are divinely moved. You either feel it or you don't. Don't fake it. Don't push it just because there's an expectation of something, to be partnered, to have children, to do this, to do that. Just do it because you want it. And if you want it and you're accomplishing it, perfect. If not, you're in someone else's headspace and it's a distraction. Okay, let's focus on those in a relationship first. As I touch the moon card, that's what we're going to talk about first. It's basically making sure that you are able to talk about hopes and fears with equal sort of comfort levels. A lot of times with this, we're just afraid to talk about what we're afraid of, so don't be afraid. This is also conversations around parenthood, as I mentioned, pregnancy. If it's a joint sort of, desire and vision, and then if not, how to move forward from that. This is especially useful if you've been in a long-term relationship but you're not married, but this is something important for marriage, then bring it up before, for sure. Other things that are coming through. I will say, aside from maybe some fear or anxiety or maybe like a miscommunication, generally speaking, relationships are on a good foot this week because this is a card I want to see in a relationship. It's good friend energy, like best friend energy to be specific. So if you can get back into this vibe of you have my back, I have your back, we're going to get this figured out. If we start to look at the silver lining and look at different ways you can help your partner see it from a different perspective. You can also not just listen, but ask, say, well, what do you want to do? Or how, kind of playing some of the role of therapist, but just sort of like helping them recalibrate. This is the best part of having friends and lovers. It's just sort of saying, am I seeing this correctly? Do you have something? So it's a great sort of moment to take a pulse check with one another. Keep it real, but in the best possible way, because as long as it comes from this supportive energy, like I want it to work just as much as you, but we should look at this in order to make sure that this goes in the right direction. Like that's what you want to do. Control issues are coming up this week. You don't want to enter into the energy of parent for your partner. You're their partner, not their parent. You're not their teacher. So if they're going through something, but they're not ready to listen, it's not the moment to have the conversation, except to say, my door is open. I've been through this. If you want to talk, I'm here. If not, just let me know how I can support you. And my mom is in spirit, but like when she was alive, one thing that we worked out that was pretty helpful, and so this can also just be larger familial things that you might be going through, but sometimes she would call and say, can I just talk or can I just complain? I was like, okay, I don't need to advise. I don't need to weigh in. She just needs to vent. Good. And then also we would try to ask, do you want my advice? And when that happened, you knew that there'd probably be constructive criticism, and you could say no or not yet or ask me tomorrow. So that helped us avoid arguments because we were both sometimes stubborn, and that then when we were ready, I was like, all right, what do you want to say? And I would be in a point where I could listen to it. So try that. It worked for me. But you have to be willing to accept the no, I don't want to hear your advice. knowing that they'll probably eventually come back when they're ready. Okay? Never say I told you so either. It's not a good thing. So that's that. Otherwise, it's recalibration. Some of you might have just gone through a challenging situation, not necessarily in the relationship itself, but life. So a loss, a disappointment, because it is at the center of the spread. And all you have to do is be friends and supportive, and you do not have to fix their problem. And vice versa. If there's something going on with you, you go to the mentor, not to the partner. Although they can be a component of that, they don't have to be the Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It. Okay. Looking at, I think I got off track there, but if that works for both looking for love and those in a relationship. If you're looking for love, can you find love right now? Yes. Let's shift the focus now to looking for love. If I didn't already do that, I went on a rant. For those that are looking for love, here's what I see. There's a lot going on right now. There's multiple partners that are coming through. Water sign. We also see an earth sign coming through. Well, the biggest challenge for those that are seeking love in this moment in time is I feel like there could be power dynamics at play. So make sure that there's enough room for both of you. Big personalities is what I'm picking up on. So if you're looking for someone that is more receptive, but kind of wants you to be the boss, then put that out to the universe. Otherwise, I'm seeing someone here that's really strong, has a distinct point of view, can take care of themselves, can take care of you, but they're not going to be quiet. There's a lot of communication there. So that's the only comment that I have here. Clean up the emotional house first. The moon card is about, there's some stuff that you're needing to sort out here. This can be disappointment from the past. This can be distraction in the present. This can be not being satisfied with where you're working, where you're living, what you're doing. Get that sorted first, because that'll help you bring in a partner that's done the same and doesn't feel like they need to give you advice on the situation. I'll take an Empress upright, but the Empress reversed is a little bossy. So the only reason she's probably coming through is because there is some self-care that needs to happen. Take care of that and she'll come through in the upright position and everything will be peachy. The one that really is coming through the strongest is an earth sign, Knight of Pentacles. When it happens quickly. So, fasten your seatbelts. I feel like once you've done the work, then you'll find what you're looking for. When you're least expecting it, I talked about the inconvenient abundance. That's what we see here. You're focusing on something else and this knight comes marching in and you're like, but I'm fixing this and doing this. It's like universal is giving you more than enough at once. And that's what this is, more than enough. So clean it all up first. And then I think there's a really strong earth sign with experience beyond their years. So an old soul, possibly in a younger package, but that's what's presenting itself here for those that are looking. Possibly a Cancer or Scorpio as well, but they may come with some emotional baggage here because that's more like the presenting issue. Okay, focusing now on those that are happily single. Good for you, first and foremost. You are in a position right now where people want to come to you and get advice, information. Possibly for those of you that are still working, they may be looking at you for, support. It's a great time for you to amp up your finances. I think some of you are doing a little bit of soul searching. And it's like that old song, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. You're looking for something different. So give yourself permission to travel a bit, resources permitting and health permitting, to connect with different types of people that you haven't before. This is about trying something different. And you don't have to leave. If you want to stand still, you can do that, but you can kind of pull opportunities inward here because where you are is where it's at. So there may be this floating ace here in the environment where all you have to do is reach out and something really cool is going to happen. All right. And I'll look at all of these from a timeline perspective in a moment. Let me just kind of walk through them. Let's move to your destiny card now. The thinking man. Don't overthink. It's easy. So in the reversed state, it's saying you can think yourself into a rabbit hole. This, to me, if I had to think of the thinking man as a tarot card, it would be the King of Wands. Wands is intuition, inspiration, and innovation. When it's reversed, though, it's closed off or it's overthinking it or overdoing it. So this is the King of Wands in reverse. Just keep an open mind, keep an open heart. And much like the Empress card, that's a very difficult and bossy energy when reversed. So don't feel compelled or responsible to fix or advise everybody. Step back. Also, you don't have to comment on everything. Just let some stuff go, let people come to you, let things kind of be more in the flow. Let's take a brief moment before I go to the big idea to just look at timelines one more time, since that's the main topic here. So just through the lens of the expanded forecast, when we're looking at health, getting some advice can make it happen sooner. When we're looking at wealth, it's really about a shift, a change, a pivot for some of you with this full system upgrade. The main thing here with the power recall is also what we were just talking about. Conserving your energy will open you up to opportunities. And there is I'm going to make up a word. Well, no, I'll use something else. Immediacy. I was going to say like a nowness. I'm like, no, it's immediacy. We have a word for that. There is an immediacy to opportunity that's presenting itself if you say, I'm going to reclaim, focus, and put my energy where it matters most. You can make it happen lickety-split if you do that. Love. Particularly for those that are single and looking, the where you are is where it is at message is for you. It's basically saying sort out things that you need to sort out first so that we can pull in a partner that's not dealing with all of this. In existing relationships, you have the support that you need. And things will work out. We again see this ability to change things within a day, within an hour, within a week. Like what you need to have happen will happen. There may be a little bit of uprooting, moving that's happening for some of you. But again, it feels like you have the right support team for that. We already talked about this. Don't overthink what's happening because it could happen faster or more unusually than you might imagine. Okay. We are going to now take a look at a big idea. This is one thing that's going to help you with divine timelines and timing. The Hermit. Okay. So the Hermit is all about knowing that you already have the star power, the star potential. We see in most traditional decks the lantern with the star inside. It feels like you've done everything you need to kind of like get to that next phase, but some of you are really enjoying being in the moment and just having some time to yourself. It's an upright hermit. There's no need to do anything else. So this is a time to just soak it all in. And the more receptive and meditative and aware that you are, because there is awareness and knowledge that comprises the energy of the hermit, that awareness will help you see the strategy on how to move forward. So what makes the hermit so powerful and wise, this is basically like the Gandalf or Galadriel card here in this spread, is because they can see past the present. 2 or 3 steps. It's the chessboard. You got to do several moves ahead so that you can anticipate what's happening. So the preparation that you make happen right now is going to speed up what you'll eventually be able to connect with here in the Knight of Pentacles here. So yeah, if you want to spend a couple of additional moments in reflection, planning, or research, Spirit is saying go for it. Because I promised to do it and I keep my promises and I remembered, let's pull an extra card here for love. It's Valentine's Day. What do we need to know about love and relationships? Didn't make it as the special topic. It very rarely does. So one of these days, by the way, for those of you that ask, why don't you do more readings on love? When I do it, they perform poorly. So the people that watch my channel are looking, I think, just for like deeper soul messages. So I'm not ignoring you, but I am paying attention to trends. Maybe as a shorter video, I'll do it. But generally speaking, you guys don't watch it. That's why I don't do it. All right. Focusing on love, what is it that we need to focus on? Okay, this card came up. Page of Cups. All right. Get out there. Have some fun. Put your best foot forward. If you're looking for love this week, the Page of Cups portends good things. See that little fish coming out of the cup? Could be a Pisces entering into your life. It's also just a really great time to do something engaging, playful, and fun. When you're in that energy, if you're looking for love or opportunity, because it can be either, it's just about not being too guarded, having a laugh, letting your defenses down, putting yourself out there. All of those things allow someone to see who you truly are. And in that moment, you kind of light up the room, and that's when it happens. And there's multiple ways you can be doing that, but putting on your authentic self, your real face, and just being there, that's kind of the message that I'm getting for that. All right. So for those that are kind of dealing with it, I think that or asking some questions about love. Love is the divine language of the universe, and I may occasionally do love with a capital L, or frequency of love. That is what you're talking about. I think what a lot of people on the channel aren't interested in is a relationship read, because there are a bazillion other readings out there on relationships. So I will just try to do love in different sort of like lenses. It is important, like self-love, compassion, gratitude. These are different languages of love and different frequencies that I can find ways to weave in. I think what people here don't react to is just a relationship read, because there's too many out there. So I hear you, and I'll find ways to put it in. So anyway, that brings us to the final portion today. I almost feel like we don't need a long meditation. So I'm just going to go straight to the sound bath. Just relax for a moment, and then we're going to wrap it up and look at a final question. So today we're going to go straight to the sound bath. What I will do is walk you through some breathing here. So if you would, please, just take a couple of deep breaths. Focus on letting go of anything that no longer serves you. With each breath, see your own energy start to amplify, your heart start to beat with more passion, with more joy. And if there's anything that you want to let go of, see it exiting your lungs, almost like a puff of smoke going towards the sun. And just allow for this exchange to happen until you're breathing in this beautiful, pure oxygen. You're breathing out nothing but the same, and you see this beautiful light start to recharge your body. And that's all we're going to do in this particular meditation. If you have a final question, save it until the end, and I'll look at it in just a moment. Taking a deep breath. I want you to feel in this moment completely, wholly present, feeling like you are worth each and every opportunity that is making its way into your life, that you do not need the acknowledgement, the attention, or even the sort of energy of anyone else around you, because you are self-sufficient. More than enough. And when you're in that energy of more than enough, the sky is the limit. Open your eyes if you haven't already done so. Focus, if you will, on the final question, and allow for Spirit to bring through a clear, concise answer. We have the Eight of Wands, which is a great card overall. As a yes or a no card, this is yes, things are moving. They're moving in divine timing, and a lot faster than you might imagine. So this is basically nicely connecting. We got all of the best Wands cards, really. Only thing that was missing was an ace. But Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 are kind of lighting this one up. So the 2 of Wands is vision, 3 of Wands is manifestation, 4 of Wands is partnership, 8 of Wands is community, but it's also continuity and things kind of moving at a fast pace. So this is a week where a lot can happen. You can connect with others, but you can also lead the charge if you need to. And yeah, faster than light. That's kind of what Spirit's giving me. Faster than light. Things will move as long as you show up. If you show up and stay active and connected and really clear on your vision, then I just see the wheels of progress moving here. Connecting you, hopefully, sooner than later to the Wheel of Fortune itself. But we do see a little bit of time here where you might be ahead of the rest of the people or the rest of the energy. So just trust that everything else is following suit. All right, I'd like to take a couple of moments to express some gratitude and thanks for all that are present here. We're going to start with those that have given back with super stickers and super chat. And let me pull up my browser window here. I'm going to start with just welcoming all members first, and then I'll take a look on my side monitor at some fan giving as well. All right, so membership. Let's see what's going on here. By the way, thanks to everybody for being present. I just appreciate you, like I said at the beginning. All right, I can tell we've had some gifted memberships because we have quite a few. So Costa del Sol, thank you. Water Girl, Rafaela, Daniela P, Jessica, Lalitha, Alana, Zanoni, Nicole, Victoria, Natalie. Let's see, and I think that's everybody that joined or was gifted a membership today. Give me just a moment here to also say thanks to those that gave back with some fan funding. I think I can do it in this main window here, so let me do that right now. So for fan funding today, gifting some memberships, we had a few here. So let's see, Raven, thank you for gifting 1 membership. Colette, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. And we have some celebrations too as well. So for those that are celebrating milestones, let's see, Kali, thank you for 1 month. Good to have you here. Let's see, I think there was a couple of others. Georgianne, 36 months. You're amazing. Thank you for that long time support. I do appreciate it. Deborah for 9 months. Thank you. All right, let me also say thanks to those that gave super stickers and super chats. And know that if I missed anything, I'll see it when I do time codes later, because I look at the whole chat and look at the whole video again. And I know Dakota caught everyone if I missed someone. The following folks gave back, and I want to say thanks. Janet, Jeannie, On the MC, and Lucy Rodriguez. Thank you. And I think that there was something special about On the MC. That was your first gifting in a live stream, so thank you for that. And that's everything. I think I got everyone. All right, so just quick reminder. I do live videos every Monday, Thursday. I'm not live videos. Live videos every Sunday. And then I do posted videos every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And I also post a daily short video as well. And starting sometime next month, I'll have a podcast in the mix. Make sure if you haven't already done so that you like and subscribe. It's 100% free, and it will help keep you in the mix and informed when all of this happens. If you'd like to follow me on social media, it's always my full name on all the major platforms. I do not, however, offer private readings or message people. So if anyone does that, block and report. And if you need to sort of get confirmation of that you're following the correct accounts, you can go to my website. And again, that's everything for today. Lots of love and light to all of you. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for spending some time. I will be gifting some memberships next week as well. I do that twice a month. In the meantime, sending you love, light, and compassion. I appreciate it. And I think we got one more, or 2 more here at the end as I'm looking to the side. Amitabha, thank you so much for the $5. And I can't pronounce your name, C-O-I-A-T, Play. Thank you for becoming a member as well. I think I got everyone else. There might have been a couple of late ones here. Monica, Allison, and Janet, thank you guys as well. All right, much love and light. I'll see you guys again live next Sunday. And in the meantime, wishing you all the best. Bye-bye.